check out my YouTube. And if I am, well, hey, fair enough. I'm testing something new. I'm always trying to find something new instead of just sticking with what works, which is just silly of me. Um, if I go to my page right here and you view your channel, let me see if my live is on. Oh yeah, I am live actually. Weird enough, I'm live. I thought I wasn't. So basically, Riverside actually connects directly to my YouTube. Okay, that makes sense now. I was wondering if it would go live or not. Anyway, what's up, people? How you guys doing? I don't usually do live shows, and that means I probably won't be able to see your chat. But let me put this here. Hold on. Let me put this here. Let me click on this guy, and then maybe I'll be able to see chat. Yeah, I'll be able to see people's chats if anybody comes in. But this is just me testing out Riverside, and since I'm here, I might as well talk about um my own takes on the Premier League, Champions League, and what I think will happen. I'm happy at where we're at, but as an Arsenal fan, I think just two more games. The boys should not care what City is doing. Don't care whether City wins or loses. Just go on and win your two games, win the Premier League. Once that is done, rest out, try to stay fit for Champions League final. It's going to be a battle. Um, but yeah, Premier League first, most importantly for me. The thing that I don't understand is how people are losing their minds, because of where Arsenal is at. And I think the reason a lot of rival fans and even some Arsenal fans are losing their minds is because literally most of these people genuinely have realized that if Arsenal go on to win the Premier League and by some miracle win the Champions League, they cannot banter Arsenal anymore about trophies. They can't banter about the football. Um, and so it's eating them up from the inside. They're literally like biting themselves from the inside, saying, "Oh my God, I will not be able to banter this club again." And I think that's what's wrong with them. So yeah, um, it is what it is, man. I think that's the major thing that is killing most of them. But yeah, I also wanted to just touch base on the style of football. I think every time I've been on a panel or every time I've heard people talk about this, they say, "Oh, Arsenal fans want validation. Arsenal fans, you always want us to validate." And I'm like, no, we just don't want you to lie. That's the thing. We just don't want you to lie. If you say the truth, it's okay. You can banter me with the truth. But when you lie to make up stuff just so that you can then throw it in my face, you expect me not to defend my club. And when I defend my club, you turn around and gaslight me and say, "Oh, you want validation." No, I didn't bring it up. You started it by lying. And there's so many lies. You ask people, like, why don't you like Mikel Arteta? Oh, he's unlikable. Tell me one thing that he has done that you can. If he's so unlikable, he must have done many things. So give me one that stands out that he has done that no other manager has done that makes him that unlikable. There's nothing Mikel Arteta does that other managers don't do. Stand outside your technical area, run along the lines of the pitch, yell at your players, pace back and forward. Every manager does it. But once Mikel does it, it becomes a problem. And that's what I don't get. So for me, it's like it's the lies, um, to the style of football. Yes, it may not be pretty to look at, but it's effective. It's effective. That's the bottom line. It's yielding goals. I believe we have scored the second most goals in the Premier League right now. And say what you will about how it looks. The attack is not, and this is what most people do, right? They take the attack of Arsenal because we all agree the attack is not firing on all cylinders. We all agree that they're not the best attack in the league, but they take the attack and the performance of the attack and try to use that to judge the entire squad and how the team performs in the game. Even when the team is not playing well, they find a way to get 3 points. They play for each other. They defend together. They attack together. They do stuff together. They're sharing goals amongst themselves. But now, what most fans or what most rivals and most content creators do is they take that front three and say, well, they're not good, and therefore let's just criticize that about Arsenal. And I'm like, yeah, it's a team sport. It's 11 people on the pitch. It's 11 people on the pitch, and this 11 people, if they work well together, they win games. So when you then want to make Saka not performing the yardstick for the entire squad, even though they've won the game, I don't get that conversation. Yeah, you can criticize Saka for not performing in that one single game, but overall, across the entire season, the team I think has done well, and that's what it's about. It's about the team doing well across the season. It's 38 games. I mean, this is a team that, as of now, the stats I'm not very sure about, but I do know we've played about 60 plus games, um, and we've won 41 of them, and I think we have 30 clean sheets across all competitions. I mean, that's an insane stat. Yet, when people want to talk about Arsenal, they just want to always talk down on the team as if, yeah, the football is not beautiful. I agree. It's ugly football. Yeah, you can say what you want about the ugliness of the football, but the results, you can't fight that. You can't fight the results. And that's what this game is about. It's about putting the ball in the back of the net and winning, right? And then, and when they realize that Arsenal has found a way to become dogged enough to win games 1-0 and close it out, they become dogged enough to come back from a 1-0 down to win 2-1. They've become that team that that once you don't score against them in the first half, you're struggling all through the second half. When they realize that, this team has now become the dog that they wanted us to be, because they called us soft underbelly, all kinds of names. And now that we become a tougher team to beat and a harder not to crack, what do? They start talking about the style of the football. The style is not good. It's ugly. Yeah, whatever, man. You know, whatever. I don't care about the ugliness of it. What I do care about is, are we winning? Because I remember when we played beautiful football, 22-23, beautiful football. We were flying. Um, what did that do for us? What did that do for us? It did nothing. We won nothing. On the contrary, people mocked us. They said, "Oh, guess what? You guys played very well, but you bottled it." You know, and that's the narrative. Now that we're not, quote unquote, bottling it, and we're on the edge of two more games. Fingers crossed, do the right thing, get the job done to win it. Now they want to criticize. You want to criticize the style of football. Yeah, it's just a double-sided thing. Anyways, I got this. I don't know why I'm here. Honestly came online just to test a platform that I. So let me tell you guys the truth. I was trying to find a platform that I could stream from, that I thought I would really like, and I thought, okay, well, this would be cool. I can stream from here, blah blah blah. Anyway, long story short, it's called Riverside. You probably see the watermark at the bottom. I mistakenly paid for a pro account, which I didn't want to at first. I just wanted to test it out, and then for some reason the pro account still has a watermark nonsense. But yeah, I divert. So I've got this Arsenal trivia book, and I think maybe like when I do my live streams, maybe once a month or whenever I do get the chance to stream, I will try and do some trivia questions. If anybody is interested, if you guys ever come in and you want to, take part, I'll ask trivia questions. If somebody gets the answer, we'll figure out, one way or the other to give them something. We'll look for what to give you. I don't know what I'll give you yet, but we'll look for something. You might get a sticker or something. Yeah, but it's good, man. This has a lot of Arsenal history in it. Uh, it has a lot of Arsenal history about all the players from back in the day, even up until like most recently. But yeah, um, that's something I probably would be doing. I also would probably be doing some football debates as well. With anybody who's willing to come and debate as regards to and I don't want banter. I want to talk about the football, because again, the banter is simple, and it's just a way to. And I think people who just judge everything through a megaphone of banter, it's because they have no way of debating or arguing, or even just giving an opinion on the football itself. They have no means of doing it, because I've heard things like, um Martinelli is not good enough, which is true, and these things are true. Trossard and Martinelli on our left, not good enough. I agree with you 100%. On the right, Saka has not been firing on all cylinders this season and been injured in and out, and Noni Madueke is not good enough. I agree with you. Victor Gyökeres, he's done well so far for his first season in the league, but he has not performed like the way he performed in Sporting. And we didn't, that's another thing. So people are gonna. Has there been a? Has there been? I would have to research that. I don't know, but I think this that has not. Hold on, that hasn't considered a red card or penalty all season during the prem. I think we haven't. Have we considered the penalty this season? I'm not sure. I need to check. I need to check. I'll need to check that, Vader, man. Hey, Vader, what's up, bro? I was just basically testing, honestly, a platform, and the thing went live. I was like, you know what? Since I'm live, I might as well carry on. Um, in the prem era, I think. Let me see. Let me pull that up. Let me see real quick. A team that has not a club. Yeah, I don't care about the invincible on wait, uh, I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't care about that, to be honest. But hey, I didn't know the answer was no. Appreciate that, man. Uh, so no club has gone yet the entire season without receiving a red card or without conceding the penalty. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, it's not impossible, but no, 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 no. We will become the unforgettables. The Invincibles are the old, the 2014. This team will become the unforgettables. If they do this, yeah, the Invincibles and the unforgettables. That's what I call them. But yeah, that's another invincible record there. Hey, so, yeah, I guess we now have two invincible records. One going all season unbeaten, and then another one going all season not conceding a red card or a penalty, and that's a good thing. So yeah. Um, but yeah, man, honestly, like I'm just tired of the Arsenal derangement syndrome. I genuinely am tired of it. It's like when I look at this team, our front line is definitely not good enough. Not good enough. That means the manager is doing something for us to be where we are at. For this team to be performing the way it's performing, with knowing that these players are not, the top of the top and are not performing at their best, then something is working. The system is working. It's producing even when they're not playing well. When they play well, it produces. And I think that that's what's annoying a lot of rival fans, and the that's what's annoying a lot of rival fans, and also annoying like the Arteta outers. I mean, I watched the stream. I don't remember the guy's name, and I don't care much for people who just don't back their club. Uh, but I watched the stream, and he said even if Arteta won the Premier League and the Champions League, he still wanted him out. And I was like, I don't. This is no longer about football. This is just pure, personal. You don't like the guy, and if I ask you why you don't like the guy, you probably have no reason. You can't really say, you know. Um, and I think Arsenal fans need to get into our thick skulls that yes, we're a big club, but we're a big club because of how we operate, not because of how other big clubs operate, right? We're not City that has all the money, yeah, but we're not Chelsea who will blow a billion, right? We're not Liverpool. They run their thing their own way. The way Arsenal has always been run, we've always been that club that has always been there and thereabouts. We have what if we win this would be our 14th title that we're winning, and we've always been that club in and around that area. There's the Liverpools, there's the City, I say City, the Liverpools and the Manchester Uniteds with the 20 plus, titles. And then there's the Arsenal with the 13, 14, and then everybody else falls behind us. And this is what we've always been. So if you understand what your club is, support your club. Hopefully we get to the goal is to get to the Liverpool level and the United level, but you don't get there overnight. You get there by building, and you get there by building something sustainable, not just, oh, I've got to win it this year and then not win for 5 years. But if we start winning now and we become more dominant next season and become dominant the season after, and we win maybe the FA Cup next season and maybe one other trophy, and the season after win the Prem again. Now that's what I want. That's what I want. I genuinely just want us to be sustainably be able to start winning. We've showed the world that we can play good football, and we didn't win nothing with it. So I'm I'm not done with good football. I would love to see Arsenal eventually play beautiful football and win. But for now, I think this is what we need to do. We just need to keep winning, win the next two games, win the Prem, and go all out for the Champions League. honestly speaking, PSG are going to be a tough, tough, tough game. But I look at both teams and I think Arsenal is the antidote to PSG's football. We saw it last season in the semifinals. Without Donnarumma that semifinal, I think we edged them out just a little bit. Donnarumma, amazing goalkeeper, amazing. He kept them in the game, and for as bad as we were, I wouldn't say bad, for as unsharp as we were, like clinically sharp as we were, for as unclinically sharp as we were, we matched them up defensively to make sure that they got nothing. They won eventually, but it was a good game, and I think we can give them a game in the final. I think we can actually give PSG a game in the final. For the Burnley game that is coming up, just hey, come on, boys, let's just go there. It's at home, calm heads. The 12th man, the fans, the stadium, let's get it rocking. Honestly, if I were the guy in charge of like organizing like the stadium thing, like how they do all the stadium organizations and all that, I would, for the next two games, I would shamelessly have tifos up. For Burnley, yes, I will shamelessly have a tifo up. I will do fireworks. I will intimidate the next two teams that we play. Okay, well, we play Crystal Palace away, but the one that we play at home, oh, I will make them uncomfortable so that we, get edge, every advantage, just win that game, and then let's go see what we do with Crystal Palace on the last day. But yeah, man, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's been 22 years. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully, all things work together and we clench this one, and then we look forward to that final. But then I think now when this happens, Arsenal fans should get ready. Rival fans to try and belittle whatever it is that we win. They will say all kinds of things. They've already started building up the narratives. Just ignore it. And then for the Arteta outers, the guys who don't believe in him, the guys who don't understand that you can be critical about your team, you can criticize what your manager does, but you have to back your team up because that energy goes a long way. That energy goes a long way. I can criticize what the manager does in certain, like, hey, you did this wrong, you had this bad selection, but if on the whole, out of 38 games, you're winning 24, 25, you're drawing 6 games, and you're on the verge of winning something, why should I be overly critical about your entire season? I can criticize you in that one game, but then the entire season you've done well. And that's what it's about. It's about the entire season. It's not just about the draw to Wolves or the loss to what's it called, Bournemouth. Like, okay, so you lost to Bournemouth. Am I now going to judge the entire season of Arsenal by that one loss? Yeah, that one loss could cost us. I get it, but I can't say after playing 15 games, you've won 12, you lose one, then I ignore the 12 you've won and just criticize you for the one that you lost and use that to beat you over the head. And that's what most rival fans try to do to Arsenal. They use Arsenal's attack and say, oh, the attack is bad, and then use that to judge the performance of the entire 11. When actually, as a team, we're one of the hardest teams to break down. Like, we're one of the hardest teams off the ball. We're one of the most hardworking teams. Defensively, we're one of the best teams. You know, and that is what they because they need to banter us. They will find something. If the attack was good, they would find something else. They would say, well, Zubimendi, and they'll just turn it to an individual player thing. And then use that player's performance to try to judge the whole squad and how they performed in the game. I think it's just total crap. Yeah. So yo, my daughter is screaming downstairs. I don't know why she does that. Whenever she gets too excited, she starts to scream. So yeah, I know why she's looking for attention. Hold on. This guy was just showing me that there was a chat. Where did that go? It just showed it to me. Anyways, I was checking something and it said there was a. Yeah, let's open the chat. Okay, there we go. Oh, cool. So I didn't know I could see the chat as well. Hey, how far, man? What's going on? I didn't plan to go live. I'll be honest with you. I just wanted to test something, and all of a sudden, boom, the thing went live. I was like, okay, since I'm live, let me just continue chatting to myself. I'm not very good at this. Enjoying this live stream. I'd rather just do a pre-recorded video or something. But uh, let's do questions. If anybody has any questions, if you want to, Nothing. I was just chatting about Arsenal. Just chatting about the things that how people perceive Arsenal. My personal opinion on where we stand. With this Premier League. Win the next two games, win the Premier League, go into the rest, go into the Champions League final, and I think maybe you know. I like I said, PSG is going to be a hard game, but I think we have something for them. I genuinely believe we have something for them, and and once we can give it to them, like they need to know. They need to know. Like it's going to be tough, but I genuinely believe that we can give PSG a super tough game in the final because again, we're a hard team to break down. I'm not saying that we're better than them, but we've always been a hard team um to beat, and that in itself is a superpower for us. Arsenal is that one team that if you try to play open football and we score first, then you equalizing becomes a problem. Um, so yeah, man. I was just testing that out, and then it just went live, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? Let me see. So it's wow, it's live on Facebook as well. Okay, so cool. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't care about the hate. Rivals hate us. Rivals are meant to hate us. Let me tell you what I care about. See, I don't care about rivals and their hate or dislike for Arsenal. I don't care if what I care about is if you banter me if I lose a game. I draw to Wolves, banter me. You drew to Wolves. I thought you guys were the best team. Da, da, da. Fair enough. But don't make up lies. When you lie and you lie because you want to use that lie to then smear the club or smear the players. That's the part that I don't like. I don't care much for whether you like me or you don't like me. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't change the status of my club. It doesn't change where the club um where the club is going to get to and what the goals and aspiration of the club is. So their hate or whatever it is, it's out the window for me. It's the lies because again, it's easy to start a lie, and that lie becomes a normal thing. For example, I've heard um people mostly rivals and even some content creators say that Arsenal plays pragmatic conservative football. True, that's a true statement. But the reason Arsenal played is because they said Mikel Arteta is afraid, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Let's pause it for a second here. Why is the reason that Arsenal plays pragmatic football? Why is it that it's because Mikel Arteta is afraid? When you use that statement, automatically, guess what rivals begin to say? Yeah, Arteta is a fearful coach. That's why he doesn't play expressive football. But that's not the truth, though. You don't know why he plays pragmatic football. Maybe because in his 7 years as a manager, he's finally learning that this is the style of football that suits him because he tried playing free flowing football in 22 23. He enjoyed it, but he was like, maybe I can't sustain this. He tried other systems 23 24, 24 25. He tried to play controlling football. He said it when they asked him in an interview. He said he wants to be dominant on all aspects of the pitch in every phase of the game. He wants Arsenal to be dominant, and to play that kind of game, you have to be pragmatic. That is not out of fear. That is the manager saying, I want to be the best in every aspect and in every phase of the game. And if it means I have to slow the game down to do it, I'm going to do that because that's going to let me win. All of a sudden, it's been termed as fear. And once they use that word fear, guess what? They run with that agenda. Then they start to lie. Then the lies begin. Oh, Arteta is afraid. That's why he doesn't play pragmatic football. Arteta is this. And I'm like, that's the part I don't get. You know, that's the part I don't get. Yeah. Again, the uproar against for that's the rival thing. I understand why they're doing that. I understand the uproar. I understand that rivals would have been like, "Oh my god, why didn't they give that goal?" Because they want. That's what rivals do, right? But the bottom line is, I'm okay with rivals doing that. They just should not change the narrative and claim that that was not a foul and that Arsenal was helped. That's all I'm going to say. You can wish it to be a goal, but they know it's a foul. I just don't want that in the future. They're going to make up lies and be like, it wasn't a foul, blah, blah, blah. That's the part I'll kick back against. But if they want to wish that, that goal should stand, they can wish it all they want. And if we flip the table, right, if that was Arsenal, equalizing, right? Same scenario. The minute that happens, guess what the rival fans will say? That's not a goal because they won't want us to equalize. And again, if that was Arsenal and the goal got chalked off, they would be very very happy, right? So yeah, it's the lies for me. It's just the making up lies, or it's also the making up of just like a that you know that little small telltale that is not true, and then they just throw it in there, and then you see people in the chat saying things like, "Yeah, it's because of this that this happened," and I'm like, "How do you know that?" You know, because I see it differently, and you see it differently, so we can debate it and see, but the truth is, there's my opinion, there's your opinion, and there's the fact. And the fact is only known by the guy who is the manager of the team. He's the only one that knows why he's chosen this style of football. He's the only one that knows why he's playing it. His emotional state on why he's chosen to do this, I don't know. So yeah, that's the thing from me. Oh, Deji, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? Mr. Dokbemu, Gengel. How you doing, my brother? What's up, man? Long time. How's the family? I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everybody's doing great, man. We need to catch up. But every time I come out uh to Dallas, I need to hit you up whenever I'm coming down to that area so that we can meet up either for lunch or something one of these days. But yeah, man. So that's my spiel on. You're saying Nigeria will rock. Let me say something to you. You don't even understand Nigeria. The internet is going to shut down. The internet is going to shut. Look, there's going to be a shutdown of the internet. I have friends who are rival fans who have already told me I will not be on YouTube in the summer. I will not come to social media. I will not. They literally they've, they've said when Arsenal wins, they are just going to take a holiday, and they said they'll come back when the summer is over, when the World Cup. But honestly, man, it's yeah for me. It's going to be an interesting summer. Like it's been a long time. It's been a long time that I remember the 2006 Champions League final. I remember where I was watching that game from, and it still hurts me till today. But you know what? Progression is the only way. Progression is the only way, and that's what Mikel Arteta has shown. First he came in the first couple of years, and restructured the team, took us from a team that they say we're annoying. Look, let me tell you something. Every fan base is annoying, right? The difference with Arsenal is I think we have the loudest and probably maybe the biggest fan base online. I'm not saying in the world, but online, who are active online. So there's many clubs. Real Madrid has a big fan base worldwide. Barcelona has a big fan base worldwide. Um, United, Liverpool, these clubs. If you go to Asia, like dude, they they have a big fan base. But the ones that are most active is the Arsenal one. You know, and I think that's what really annoys them. Look, do you, man? Do you let anybody say what they want? Once this Premier League comes to North London, it is over. It is over for some people. And then for those Arsenal haters, the Arsenal fans that are inbred haters for themselves, that genuinely hate their own club but pretend that that their position is about standards. For those guys, yeah, you better start looking for how to make a different type of content, because now you can't make your regular Mikel Arteta hasn't won anything. You can't make that content anymore. The club is not progressing. You can't make that type of content anymore. It's too late, you know. And like I was saying earlier about progression, that's the most important thing for me. Because one thing I can guarantee you is once you progress to the point where you start winning, then you can sustain that win because you've figured out how to get there properly, and now you can stay there. So, bringing us to a quarterfinal of the Champions League, the first time we're back then, like in seven years, if I'm not mistaken, and then the next year taking us to semi-final and now to the final of the Champions League. You know, that for me has got to be progression. Um, you know, Oga, don't tell your wife to free you. You want to look for trouble. You want to look for trouble. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. And honestly speaking, I wish this journey could have been quicker. I wish it could have been quicker. But again, I back this club. I've backed this club ever since God knows, like what? I've been backing Arsenal since like 1994. Yeah, since like 1994 that I've been, an Arsenal fan. And I, I, I kid you not, like it's been a journey. It's been a journey, and I mean now I'm at the stage where it's like if we can do this, we now need to be able to sustain it. But let's do it first. The most important thing for me is let's do it first. Um, you know, because I remember when Wenger came, and changed he changed our style of football. We were boring Arsenal before that. We were boring Arsenal. Um, you know, um, back then, like we're not the club that most people thought. Like when you talk about like say, um, a football club that comes and plays really good football. It was Wenger that came and gave us that whole style. And I think the move to Emirates really changed a lot for us. Then came the dark days. you know, then came the dark days, man. That was the period where Wenger's like latter days. But again, you've got to, as you're calling out the criticism, you've also got to back your club and back the manager. You can't just be like, hey. But yeah, man, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys, man. I gotta run. My son has karate. I need to take him to karate, and I have football tonight. I have soccer. I'm playing tonight. This is I'm already dressed. So once I take him to karate and I drop him back at home, I'm driving out. We're playing six-a-side indoor league. So I play in a league. I play with my office team. Hey, let me go and stretch. Let me go and stretch some limbs. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for jumping in. And yeah, I'll probably do this again, maybe over the weekend or next week sometime. Since I have the pro account for this, I'm going to use it until I finish until it's done. And then we'll do some more. Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Yeah. Peace.